Alright, hey guys, here we are, hole 5. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Now, let's just jump in. I'm gonna uh, I'm gonna set up Cataclysm. Let me set up as a bag 5 or bag 4 or something. So standard bag. I don't know what the wind's going to be, so with that in mind, I am going to bring a little bit of extra range. You can really use the top spin to kind of force this one to the green if they set up a really tough wind here. Oh, so we did get a tailwind. Hardest thing here is going to be holding the fairway. So somewhere in here with some curl, I'm thinking. So that's 5 rings. I go maybe about 8 or 9 here. As you can see, I'm going to be landing kind of down an angle, so I'm trying to plan for it to land more towards the middle, and I'm actually going to curl it back so you can see with how much curl I'm using. Perfect ball. And let's just see how this works out. Maybe a good idea to bring Guardian. You can see kind of cutting it just a little bit risky there on the right hand side, but I do want to also keep it away from this left here. And the farther you get it up here, the better your opportunity is going to be. But you can see, you know, this left side is going to start coming into play as well. So you do got to be very careful. That's the reason that I put the curl on, because I had a feeling that, you know, I can shoot towards this bunker. And another thing that you can bring for this hole will be Guardian. Will be a very good option here. And what the extra range typically does for you is it allows you to kind of stay within range to where you don't need to add any extra power, or because you'll see that it'll be very close to the very top of the club. So if you can't drive it far enough, it's going to be just a little bit more favorable to be down there a little bit farther. And having that range will give you kind of an extra possibility. You can see there my opponent clips the rough. It's going to be 30 yards shorter, and 30 yards is going to make a lot of difference. So here you can see, you know, kind of exactly what I was mentioning. I can kind of land up here towards this neck and kind of shoot it over. I'm thinking somewhere around here. I typically play this about 1.8 per ring. You can see I might pull at a slight angle as well. Almost 9 rings here, and a substantial amount of my curl, almost full. Oh. So that's a little bit more curl than I wanted to use. What I like to do is I like to take it up that backstop. So you can see with what I was doing with my spin, So, you know, that's just going to be kind of something that just needs to kind of get dialed in. You'd see I almost, you know, I brought it in at a good angle to potentially still be able to get it, but it was also fairly aggressive with the line. But you can see that I'm kind of landing it left, curling it over. What that does is it creates this nice angle. So you can see that the ball comes in like this. It's much less risky than bringing it in on this edge and trying to barely curl it. So when you do over curl it, it creates that nice little angle there to where it takes away some of the risk. Especially, you know, if you're able to catch your perfect balls, stuff like that. So, you know, Guardian there should be a good, accurate option is what I would recommend. And having that extra range is really going to come in because it lets you have a little bit more control of the spin, and the spin control there will be very useful. So my opponent there left it kind of at max range. A little bit for that putt. If you do leave it around here, you will have to be just a little bit cautious with that putt. I could see that one going either way. So it is something that you'll just want to be just a little bit careful on. So right into the pin for me. So this is what I was mentioning here. You know, with your perfects, you'll be okay. It's when you miss the perfect, it may just slide off. So it looks like my opponent, which is a replay, was able to get the eagle here, which means that both, you know, him and his opponent both eagled it today. So that means, you know, guys are already capable of getting it. So you will want to make sure, you know, to try to avoid the birdie there. But good luck with that hole, guys, and I will see you guys on the next one coming up.